Welcome to another episode of The Unexpected Detour, where in life detours are inevitable. I'm your host, Frances Hammond, and here we talk about the many detours of life. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it is the easiest way to make a podcast. Just ask me, the host of The Unexpected Detour. And what I love so much about Anchor, it is absolutely free. Free, Free. Anchor has tools that will allow you to record, edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And what's so awesome, when hosted on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple, and many more. So if that's you, try Anchor today. Today is October 2nd, 2020, the second day of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I started my podcast as a way of telling my story and to bring awareness of breast cancer. Not for fortune, not for fame, just to bring awareness. And what I'm finding out, my story is the only story I can tell. For I haven't gotten anybody on here but one person to tell their story of breast cancer. So I figured I will keep it with me. I will keep myself transparent and talk about my journey. But what I really came on here for today is the fact that it's so amazing that if you're famous, awareness is brought to certain diseases. And I say that because Katie Couric, who is now a breast cancer patient, now it's a big thing. When Olivia Newton-John was there, it was a big thing. So I'm trying to figure out, do you have to have a name to bring awareness to it? Absolutely not. The only way for each breast cancer woman or man to tell this story, to bring awareness to their disease, is to tell your own story. Be the advocate of your own story. Don't wait for somebody else to tell it when you're gone, but while you're here, tell your story. Because the only way the story is going to be told right is if you tell it yourself. And that's why I wanted to get on here, because there are so many women who I have encountered, who I have asked to tell their story on my podcast, and they always decline. Are they declining because they're ashamed of it? Are they declining because they don't want the world to know about it? Hello. So many other women are getting it. And if your story could save somebody else's life, why not get on here and tell it? And that is why I talk about mine. And I will be honest, at times I choose not to talk about it because the journey can be rough. It can be rough, it can be heartbreaking, and it brings back old memories. But you know what? With those old memories, you find courage and you find strength to push forward and tell the story. Because I don't know who's listening to my voice. I don't know who was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer at, and the stage 2B, which means I had cancer in my lymph node at the age of 60 after having mammograms for 20 years. I don't know if that's you, but if that is, you need to get checked. And then I realized I went to get a bone density test on Wednesday, and I sat there in the office and I came across an article at Memorial Sloan Kettering putting together something that I always wondered: dense breasts and breast cancer. Now, I am not going to fault the doctors for this because medicine is a constant study of new things to come. So perhaps then, when I had the dense breast, there was no connection. But now it seems to be a connection with this dense breast, which is fat in the tissue. And because the breasts are dense, the mammogram will not see any growth in there. So if this is you and you're told you have dense breasts, I suggest you get a sonogram and you get the 3D, the 3D mammogram or an ultrasound. All of these things will help because they could see it clearer, especially that 3D one. You don't want to get smushed, and the 2D, 3D is the way to go. 9 images, each breast, two positions, and you're done. And it sees it clear. So that's why I said, people, women, you can get on Facebook, you tell your story, you show pictures of you, but you won't let the world hear your voice. You won't let them hear your voice about what you're going through, the help that's needed, the stuff that they don't get to help you, the struggles you go through, the medical bills you have. And if you're not in a place where they don't have grants, you might not get any help. So, this is why we have to be the voice behind it. Every other disease, they have voices, but with them, there's a famous people who are bringing awareness to things that everyday people have, like you and like me. I am an everyday person, and yes, I am somebody who wishes to share her story with the world and to let you know the importance of it. I've also found out that drinking alcohol was another factor. How about that? And then we know about smoking. Now, that can be a factor. You have what we eat, what we put in our body, the consumption of the food, the unhealthiness of what we're eating. We're getting this fat, being overweight. And I used to laugh at my doctor when he used to tell me, you should weigh 170 pounds. Now, mind you, at that time I was 190, but he was telling me, you still need to lose weight. I didn't care because I didn't think I was overweight. So as time went by, I went through menopause, weight picked up, and I found out, yes, I should have listened. And then I go back in the mind of the time when we were young and we took birth control pills. Did that cause the breast cancer? So many things that you cannot connect the dots, but they're now starting to be connected as to what they can do to the body. They say your body is your temple, and we abuse our body by the things that we do, the foods we eat, the drinking. And not only does the drinking have a possibility to cause the breast cancer, it also gives you the fatty liver, which I too had a fatty liver in the hospital, ready to get a liver transplant because I was what I ate and I didn't take care of my body. But that's besides the point because there are people who are in perfect shape, like the gentleman that I interviewed in August, Bill C. Potts, who he was a marathon runner. He was an Iron Man. So you keeping your body in shape. And he too came down with different types of cancer. So what is it? And I'm going to tell you what I really think. Other than the food, the activities we do with our body, drinking, and all those other things, eating and overeating, I'm going to say it's the environment that we live in. This environment has poisoned the bodies. and we go out there and we enjoy it because we're supposed to, but it's still not healthy. So, what do? You have to be proactive. You have to bring awareness to it. And I say, breast cancer women and men get together, compare notes as to what this is all about. It's mind boggling to me to see so many women all of a sudden coming down with breast cancer. And that's why I'm wondering, even the healthiest people, they still have a drink now and then. But did that drink do this? Or the constant drinking of it do it? What other activities? The food we consume, did that do it? It's very puzzling, but I'm just going to say this. We need to be advocates of our own health issues. If you have something that can save somebody else's life, you need to share your story. Never mind putting it on Facebook and Instagram. Be a voice behind that story and tell it. Because looking at pictures doesn't tell the story. Writing what you want to say doesn't tell the story. But hearing it verbally from the person who has the story will do more. Even if that person wrote a book, if you use your imagination, you put yourself in their shoes, you can just picture what they went through. So I'm going to come back again because it's Breast Cancer Month. And I am going to continue on, not my rant, but on the things that I'm finding out about breast cancer because I have done some research. And when I come back, I'm going to break down my diagnosis because I'm the only one that can tell you that story. Have a good night.